We continue our conversation now with Kelly Hyman. She is a lawyer, she's an actress, she's an author, she's a Democratic strategist. So let me ask you this, and this is fascinating. It may be tough for you to answer, but when you are black and when you work for the Black News Channel, one of the things that stands out like you wouldn't believe is the fact that 90% of black people aren't voting for Donald Trump. And yet 90% of Republicans are. And in that number, there's 45% of people that don't look like me who are voting for Donald Trump. As not only an author, a lawyer, an actress, an activist, but also as somebody who is white, can you explain that to my audience, why that is?
I wish I had, an answer to that question. But I can tell you that Trump has not, as a woman, he has not helped move women forward. He's actually made them move back, and he has not helped the African American community. I have been a proud Democrat my whole life, and I believe the Democratic Party represents the U.S. We are a country of diversity, people with different backgrounds. And I think that the Democratic Party represents that. And I think that's important. And I think it's also important to represent to remember in this election that a third party vote is basically a vote for Donald Trump. I know that, Kanye West is a great artist, but he said for people to write in his name, but that's just throwing your vote away. And all the protests and everything, Black Lives Matter is going to mean nothing if people don't get out there and vote. It's going to be such a close election. I mean, there's so much going on with voter suppression, and it's horrific. And so that's why it's really important for people to get out there and let their voice be heard.
Kelly, that 45% though is not going to go away. If Donald Trump loses, the people that back him right now, they're vocal, they're angry. There was an article in USA Today where somebody put up a Biden Harris sign, and it was huge in bales of hay, and they burned it down. We are seeing right now violence and protests. We're seeing people that are getting in violent clashes between pro-Trump and anti-Trump people. So what am I to make of what happens to America even if he loses?
I think we'll be better off. I believe that Trump enables some of that and supports it. I mean, we can look about his comments about white supremacy. There's good people on both sides, and so some would say that he enables that, and that's why I think it's important that we have someone that's going to unite our country, and that's why I'm a firm advocate for Biden and believe that Biden can help us heal. And I think that that's important as a nation, that we can disagree, but we can agree to disagree on issues. But the way that Trump is going, and if he is reelected, we are going to become a much more divided nation, I believe.
When you are black and you talk to pro-Trump supporters, there is a sense that, well, you're doing that because you're black. You're against him because you're black. And when we talk to pro-Trump African Americans, they automatically become defensive because they say, I can be black and Republican. I'm curious, how do your discussions with Trump supporters go?
That's interesting. I remember being at an airport, and there was a gentleman with a hat on that said "Make America Great," and this is, of course, before COVID and everything was going on in our country, because right now people are struggling. And I looked at him and I said that, why are you, a Trump supporter? And he said that, I don't like what he says. But for me, he's been good to me. But, I talked to him, I says, well, that he inherited an economy from Obama and Biden. No, that's not the case. And so I think that was, a key issue for people about the economy, but that's now gone. And so I think that that's important to remember. As I said before, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And people, are not. And so I think that we need someone that's really going to represent the American people, all the people, because of our diversity, and move this country forward.
And Kelly, because people are going to hear actress, they're going to want to know, what did I see you in? And as I picked your brain, we got to Young and the Restless. Who was the character?
I played Loretta on Young and the Restless. I grew up in the entertainment business. My mom was a single mom, struggling financially, and she was teaching Charlton Heston, a great, actor, tennis lessons. And I was a cute young kid, and so she asked him half jokingly, could he get me an agent? And I smiled, and he did. So since the age of 5, I grew up, and so I did a lot of television commercials, TV shows. I grew up in the business, and so I've met Brad Pitt as a teenager, because my best friend Shalane McCall was on Dallas, and he actually played her boyfriend on the Dallas show. So I have some old photos of Brad Pitt and myself at Shalane McCall's birthday party. And he's from Missouri, from what I remember. A wonderful, wonderful guy, very, very sweet. And this is before, of course, Thelma and Louise and that, but it was a very nice person. And so I just kind of grew up in the business doing, modeling and commercials, and helped support my mom financially.
So as my friend Gail King would say, was that a name that was dropped on the floor? Let me see if I can go pick it up. Kelly Hyman, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Please get out and vote. Let your voice be heard. Thank you so much for having me.